Hello, myself Mrs. Seema Srikant. I'm working as a lecturer in Instrumentation Engineering Department, Institute of Petrochemical Engineering, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University, Loneri. So today we are going to study about biomedical instrumentation. In that, we are going to cover origin of biopotentials. So biopotentials, basically biopotentials means an electric potential exists across the membrane of all the cells of the body. The important examples of biopotentials are electrical activity which is associated with the heart, electrical activity associated with the brain, electrical activity which is associated with the muscle. These are the basic biopotentials. Now, neuron resting potential. This figure indicates the membrane potential which is in the resting state. So, body fluids both inside as well as outside. The cells are electrolytic. Electrolytic means consisting of positive and negative ions. When the cell is in resting state or not excited state, there is accumulation of negative ions inside the membrane and accumulation of positive ions outside the membrane. An equal number of positive ions accumulate outside the cell, just its outer surface. Whatever the positive and negative ions are present, they are equal. Means how many number of negative ions are there, that many number of positive ions are there at the outside. This nature of accumulation of negative ions and positive ions along the inside and outside the cell membrane generates the membrane potential of about minus 90 millivolts along the inside of the membrane with respect to outside of the membrane. This potential is called as membrane potential or resting potential, and in this state the cell is said to be polarized. Next we will see the action potential. Here what happens is, when the nerve or a muscle cell is excited by the factors such as electric stimulation, mechanical compression, application of chemical to the cell membrane, the transport of ions through the membrane will raise the membrane potential to plus 40 millivolts. The typical action potential value is plus 40 millivolts. Then we'll see the depolarization of cell, the phase of cell excitation where the membrane potential changes from minus 90 millivolts to plus 40 millivolts is called as depolarization of cell. Then repolarization of cell, the phase of cell excitation where the membrane potential changes from plus 40 millivolts to minus 90 millivolts is called as repolarization of nerve cell. Then the Nernst equation, an equation relating to action potential across the membrane and two concentration of ions is called as the Nernst equation. So that is given by E of mv is equal to plus or minus 61 log of CO by Ci, where E indicates is the resting potential in millivolts, Ci indicates the concentration inside the cell, CO indicates the concentration outside the cell, and log indicates that the logarithmic of concentration ratio which is going to be used. Next is the generation of action potential in the heart. The heart basically consists of four chambers, that is left atrium, right atrium, left ventricle and right ventricle. The action potential in the heart originates near the top of the right atrium at the point called the pacemaker or SA node. This is nothing but the pacemaker. It is also called as SA node, that is sinoatrial node. The action potential generated by the pacemaker propagate in all directions along the surface of the atria. The action potential wave travels parallel to the surface toward the junction of both atria and ventricle. The wave terminates at near a center of the heart called the atrioventricular node. At AV node, some fibers act as a delay line to provide proper timing between the action of atria and ventricles. Now, action potential is rapidly spread to all the parts of body ventricles by using some special type of fibers. Those are called as Purkinje fibers. These are nothing but the Purkinje fibers through which it is circulated to the heart. The action potential waveform in the ventricle move perpendicular to it and moves from inside and outside the ventricular wall. A wave of repolarization followed by depolarization. The repolarization occurs as each cell returns to its resting potential independently. Then next is the ECG waveform. So here it is also called as PQRS waveform. Now we will see what exactly mean by P wave, what is QRS complex, what is T wave, what is U wave. First is the P wave. The P wave is representing the depolarization of atrial muscular. And PQ interval. This interval is going to be representing the time during which excitation wave is delayed in the fiber near the atrioventricular node. Then QRS complex. The QRS complex is the combined result of repolarization of atria and depolarization of ventricles, which occur almost simultaneously. Then the ST interval. This interval indicates the time between the onset of ventricles muscles contraction and start of ventricular repolarization. Then is the T wave. The T wave is the wave of ventricular repolarization. And last one is the U wave. This indicates it is a wave as a result of after potential in the ventricular muscle. Next is the ECG recorder. So an instrument which records the electrical activity of heart is called as electrocardiograph. ECG provides the valuable information about a wide range of cardiac disorders. This is the block diagram of ECG recorder, which basically consists of ECG electrodes, lead selector switch, preamplifier, power amplifier, bridge output circuit, auxiliary circuit, frequency selective feedback network, pen motor and chart transport motor. The wires from electrodes connect to lead selector switch. Here these are connected to the lead selector switch. This lead selector will give unstabilized output which is fed to the preamplifier. So the preamplifier will stabilizes the signal which is received from the lead selector, and then it sends to the signal to the power amplifier. The preamplifier is usually a 3 or 4 stage differential amplifier. The amplified output signal of preamplifier is given to power amplifier. The power amplifier is generally of push-pull differential type. The power amplifier are required to supply necessary alternative current to the pen motor through the bridge output circuit. Frequency selective network. This one is frequency selective network, which basically provides necessary damping of pen motor and is present by manufacturer. The auxiliary circuit provide 1 millivolt calibration signal and automatic blocking of amplifier during a change in the position of lead selector switch. It includes speed control circuit for the charge transport motor. The next one is the anatomy of brain. So this human brain is basically divided into three regions. One is brainstem, second one is cerebellum, and third one is the cerebrum. We will see one by one. First we will see what exactly mean by brainstem. The brainstem encloses medulla. This medulla is enclosed by the brainstem. The medulla is the center which controls regulation of respiration, heart rate, body temperature, etc. Then cerebellum. This is a special portion of the brain which regulates motor neuron activity so that there is a balanced motion of human body to the sensory stimulus which is going to be required. The next is the cerebrum. The cerebrum is the largest part of the brain. This one is very larger part of the brain. The cerebral brain tissue is wrinkled and folded so that it is going to be achieving maximum surface area. It consists of two equal parts called right hemisphere and left hemisphere. They are equal in shape and size but perform different control functions of the brain like behavior control, visual processing, hearing, etc. Then next we will see the classification of EEG frequency bands. These are the various traces which are shown in the figure, that is delta, theta, alpha, beta. These are the four kind of traces which are going to be present in the EEG frequency bands. So the signal have amplitude of about 50 to 100 microvolts. First we will see what exactly this delta pattern does. This delta pattern is exhibited when the patient is in deep sleep. So this kind of pattern basically is observed in infants, that is newly born babies. The frequency range is from 0 to 3.5 Hz. Then theta pattern. This pattern exhibited in adults during stress. The frequency ranges from 3 to 8 Hz. So in this pattern, the patient is going to be feeling very drowsiness. Next is the alpha pattern. This pattern is exhibited when the patient is relaxed. The frequency range is from 8 to 13 Hz. And last one is the beta pattern. This pattern is going to be exhibited when the subject is excited under tension. The frequency range is from 13 to 50 Hz. Then we will see the electroencephalograph. Basically, electroencephalograph is one which is going to be recording the electrical activity of brain. This is the block diagram of electroencephalograph, which basically consists of the signal is going to be taken from the scalp and then these are given to the EEG electrodes. Then the signal is given to preamplifier. Then there is a signal conditioning circuit and finally they are going to be given to the signal recorder and analyzer. So the biopotential generated through the brain is picked up by the EEG electrodes. The electrode will act as a transducer which are going to be converting the ionic potential into electrical potential. The output from the electrode is given to the preamplifier. The amplified signal is given to the signal conditioning unit. It uses filters and amplifiers. The output of the signal conditioning unit is given to the signal recorder as well as to the signal analyzer. Next is the electrical activity of muscle. The record of potential from the muscle during movement is called as electromyogram or EMG. The measurement of electrical activity of muscle will give important diagnostic information. A muscle is basically made up of many motor cells. So these are the many motor cells. A motor unit consists of a single branching neuron. This is nothing but a single branching neuron. From the spinal cord and muscle fiber, it connect to motor end plates. The action potential across the nerve fiber travel along the axon, travel through this axon and is transmitted across the motor end plates into the muscle fibers. This initiates the muscle action, which is called as contraction. Using a very tiny electrode through the muscle membrane, the action potential in a single muscle cell can be recorded. As it is difficult to isolate a single fiber, the EMG electrodes are employed to record the electrical activity from several fibers. The surface electrodes is attached to the skin to measure the electrical signal from many motor units. Then electromyograph. Electromyograph is basically it measures the electrical activity of muscle. So EMG is usually recorded by using surface electrodes, or more often they can use the needle electrodes, which are going to be inserted directly into the muscle. The electrodes pick up the potential produced by the contracting muscle fibers. The signal can then be amplified by using the amplifier and displayed on the screen by using cathode ray tube. It is also connected to the audio amplifier, which is connected to the loudspeaker. A trained EMG interpreter who can diagnose the various muscular disorders by receiving the sounds produced when the muscle potentials are fed to the loudspeaker. The tape recorder is included in the system to facilitate playback and study of EMG waveform at a later convenient time. And in this way, this electromyograph is going to be working. Thank you. Thanks a lot.